Just wanted to show a close-up of my magical unicorn. She has a heart. There's a separate video tutorial for the heart. If you go to my Easy Heart Headband and go to time 9:22, I show how to make the heart. This is what she looks like from behind. And a close-up of her beautiful eyes. These are called bubblegum eyes from 6060 Eyes. And this is what she looks like standing. She also has horseshoes on the bottom of her paw. You can also braid her tail if you want to, and then just place a ribbon on the end. For this crochet project, you're going to need your 4mm crochet hook, as well as a tapestry needle and a pair of scissors. The yarn that I'm using is by Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo. The color is soft white. Here's some information about this yarn. And here's the amount of yarn. I'm also using Karen's Simply Soft Party. It's a nice purple glittery yarn. Here's some information about the amount of yarn and more information about the yarn. This color is Grape Sparkle. I'm also using Patton's Beehive Baby Sport. Some of my leftover yarn that I'm using. Here's information about this yarn. The color of this yarn is Baby Gray Marl. For mine, I'm using 12mm eyes, safety doll eyes, and if you like these eyes, these are by 6060 Eyes, and they're called the Bubblegum. I only needed one skein of each of the yarns that I used, so even the purple, I only needed one skein of this yarn. I used a regular sewing needle and thread for the ribbon. I used a white thread, but if you wanted to use a thread that matches your ribbon, you can do that as well. So now you can use whatever ribbon that you want for your unicorn. I use Celebrate It Tempo. Here's some information about mine. It has a 5% metallic and 95% nylon. We're going to start with the body, so you're going to get your main color for the horse. And we're going to start with a slip knot. So go ahead and take your yarn and just fold it over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook, go right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then just yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for a slip knot. Cinch the knot down and the loop loosely around the hook. Now we're going to make a chain. I'm just going to show you 4 of them on video tutorial. You just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, go through the loop for 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and finish a chain of 36. Need a chain of 36. Now you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to go into the second chain from the hook. Then go ahead and bring up a loop and complete a single crochet. And then you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch back across. So 1 single crochet into each stitch back across, and then come back. Then when you reach the end, you're going to make a chain of 1. Then you're going to turn your work, and you're going to go into the next stitch over. So I'm just going to show you with my tapestry needle. So you're not going to go into the base of the chain 1 stitch. You're going to go into the next stitch over. You're going to go under both loops of the stitch, and then just bring up a loop and make a single crochet. And then you're just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch back across. So this is what my work looks like so far. And you should have a stitch count of 35. And you should maintain that stitch count for each row. And you're just going to repeat. You're going to make a chain 1, turn your work, and then you're going to make a single crochet into the next stitch over, and you're just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch across for each row. So chain 1, turn your work, and then 1 single crochet in every stitch, and you should always have a stitch count of 35 for each row. So this is what mine looks like after finishing 15 rows. You can see how the edge is straight, which is what you want on both sides. Then after you finish your 15 rows of 1 single crochet in every stitch, then you're going to take and finish off. So just yarn over and then pull enough yarn through for sewing the pieces together. Now you're going to need 3 pieces just like this. So go ahead and make 2 more. After you've finished 3 of them, we're going to start sewing them together. So you're going to take your long end that you left for sewing and just place the tapestry needle onto that long end. Then you're just going to fold one of the pieces on top of another piece. Then you're going to take and just sew across the top. So you can see how I grabbed 1 stitch on one side and came out the top side of the opposite panel. And then you just sew the 2 pieces together. When you run out of yarn, you just get the same colored yarn and finish sewing across. So now you can see the right side and how the seam looks, and then on the wrong side you could see that there's a ridge on the wrong side where you sewed it. So now I have the wrong side facing towards me. Here's the ridge where I just sewed across. I'm going to get my last panel, and I'm going to use the long end that I left for sewing, and then I'm just going to place it along the edge of the other side. So you want to make sure that your ridge that you're creating is on the wrong side. And then you just take your tapestry needle or the same colored yarn, and then just use your tapestry needle to sew the edge. So again, make sure that your seams, the ridge portion, is on the wrong side, and then just sew the 3rd panel in place the same way. So now you can see that both ridges are on the same side, and then here is the right side. And this is how your work should look. Now we're going to make the front panel and the back panel. So now you need 3 more pieces, and these are made the exact same way that you did for the side and bottom panels. So here's the bottom, and then here are the sides. So you're going to be making the front and the back. So these again are made the same way. The only difference is the starting chain. So for the starting chain, for the front and the back, you're going to start with a chain of 15, and then you're going to finish making the 15 rows. So the front panel, chain of 15, and then 15 rows, and then the back panel is made the exact same way. Then for the top panel, you're going to start with a chain of 23. So you're starting with a chain of 23, and then you're still making the 15 rows. So now we're going to sew the front and the back panel in place onto the bottom and side panels. So the first thing you're going to do is just take one of your panels. I'm going to take the front panel and sew that one in place first. So again, you're going to want to line up the ridges. And then I have a long end that I left for sewing, so I'm going to use that to sew. So I have the ridge side facing up, and the ridge side is the wrong side. Then I'm going to take my tapestry needle with my yarn, and I'm going to pinch together the bottom panel, and then just lift up so that the ridge is going to be on the wrong side, which is what I want. And then you're just going to take and sew just like you did for the sides. Just sew the front panel in place. Then after you've sewn along the one edge along the bottom, we're going to move up the side. So you're just going to take and turn your work and line up the side panel. So again, the ridges are on the wrong side, which is what you want. And then you're just going to take and crochet along the side. If you run out of yarn, you just get the same colored yarn and continue sewing. Then after you finish sewing the one side, you're going to take the opposite side and sew it this exact same way. So pinch together the sides and then just sew that side together the same way. I'm just going to tie a knot with my new yarn. And then I just want to show you what it's looking like. So here you can see it's forming a rectangular box. So here's the front panel, and then all of the ridges are on the wrong side at this point. So then, after you finish the one side, the front, then you're going to want to finish the back. So the back, you're going to sew the exact same way. I'm going to line up the bottom with the back panel so that the ridges are on the wrong side. And then you just sew it in place the exact same way that you did for the front. This is how your work should look at this point. So the right side is on the inside, and then I have the ridges on the wrong side facing me, which you want to keep it this way. Now we're going to put the top portion in place. So you're going to line up the top portion along the wrong side. So the front, whatever side you want for the front, will be facing this direction, and then we're going to line it up with the back portion. So again, I'm lining it up so that the ridges are on the wrong side. I have my long end that I left for sewing, or you just want to use the same colored yarn. Then you're just going to line up the top portion with the back portion or back panel, and then just sew it in place. And then you're also going to sew along the edge, both edges. So now you can see how I sewed the top portion in place, and this is going to be where the neck is going to be. So you can go ahead and turn your work inside out now, because right now you have the wrong side facing you. And this is what it looks like with the right side facing you. So now you're just going to set this aside. We're going to make the head for the horse now. With your main colored yarn, we're going to start with the magic circle. So you just drape the yarn across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, then wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, you're going to go right under those 2 loops around the middle fingers, you're going to bring up a loop, you're going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through that loop for a slip knot. Then you're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then you're going to take your 4-finger and thumb, just hold the base of the 6 single crochet. You have these 2 loops on the opposite side. Go ahead and pull on one of them. If it doesn't close, go ahead and let go and pull on the other one, but this one is closing. You don't worry if you don't get it closed completely. We can always close it more later. Then let go and take the loose yarn end and pull on that. Then just turn your work. We're going to start working in rounds. So now you're going to go into that first stitch in the round, and we're going to place 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And then you're going to make 2 single crochet into every stitch around until you have a total of 12 stitches. So 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12. Then, if you have a small opening in the center of your circle, go ahead and turn your work over and then just gently pull on that loose yarn end on the back, and then that closes up the magic circle nicely. Then you're going to take your loose yarn end or a yarn marker, place it right where you left off, and we're going to continue with the increase rounds, which means we're going to continue to increase the number of stitches in the round. For the first round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around, back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch. And then just keep repeating that pattern all the way around, back to the yarn marker. You should have a total of 18 stitches in the round after completing that round. Go ahead and move your yarn marker up. Then you're going to make 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch, and then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch. So now you should have 24 stitches in the round. Then you're going to take and move your yarn marker up, and now you're just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So only 1 single crochet into every stitch. Then you're going to continue making 1 single crochet in every stitch around until you've completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. And you can see how I left my yarn marker in place so I can keep track of the rounds. So 5 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Then you're going to get the alternate color that you're using. I'm using this gorgeous purple, glittery purple color, which is Grape Sparkle, and we're going to make the nostrils. So now I have the yarn on my tapestry needle, and the snout, I'm going to turn the loop where we left off in the back. It's towards the bottom, and then you're going to look at your magic circle and you're going to make your nostril over to the side. So you're going to position where you want to place your nostril. So for mine, I'm going towards the top of the magic circle, over 2 rows, and then coming out from the wrong side, coming out with my yarn. Make sure you leave enough of a loose yarn end on the inside for tying a knot. Then you're going to go down a stitch and back in. And then you're going to go over right next to where you came out initially. And then back down into the same spot where you came out. And you're going to repeat that on the opposite side. So you're going to come out on the opposite side, and you want them to be the same, so they're both lined up with the magic circle. And then I'm going to go down a stitch, and then I'm going to come up again right next to it. And then back down where I came out. Then this is what the nostrils look like on the snout, and then on the inside I just tied a knot. And then we can continue on. Now you can take and move your yarn marker, place it right where you left off, and we're going to make an increase round. You're going to make 1 single crochet into 3 stitches. And then place 2 single crochet into the 4th stitch, and then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. You should have finished with 30 stitches in the round. Then you're going to go ahead and move your yarn marker up, and you're only going to place 1 single crochet into every stitch for 1 round. Then move your yarn marker up, and you're going to place 1 single crochet into 4 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 5th stitch. Then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now you should have 36 stitches in the round. Then you're going to move your yarn marker up, and you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around for 2 rounds. So 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Then, after you finish your 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch, you're going to move your yarn marker up, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into 5 stitches. And then make 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch. Then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker, 1 single crochet into 5 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the 6th stitch. Now you're going to place your safety doll eyes, and you could see that I have the loop in the back, and then I'm lining up my nostrils. And then I place my eyes in line with the nostrils. And for mine, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches between the eyes. Once you're happy with the placement, then you can take and place your safety latch on the back side of the eyes. Then you're going to go back to where you left off and move your yarn marker up, and then you're just going to make one single crochet in every stitch around. So one single crochet in every stitch around. After you finish 2 rounds of one single crochet in every stitch, go ahead and leave a large loop for now and then turn your work. And this is where you can place eyelashes if you want. I'm going to place some purple eyelashes on both sides. Something optional that you may want to do is to embroider some eyelashes. I just wanted to show you how I made my eyelashes. I put them on top of the eyes. An alternative would be to make it go off to the side, but this is how I made mine if you like the way mine looks. Then you're going to go back, go ahead and remove the yarn marker and place it right where you left off. And then you're going to continue making one single crochet in every stitch around. Now you're going to make 7 rounds of one single crochet into every stitch around, and this is how my work looks so far. Now we're going to start closing. We're going to make our decrease rounds, which means we're going to decrease the number of stitches in the round. So go ahead and move your yarn marker up. Then you're just going to make one single crochet into the next 5 stitches. So after you make one single crochet into 5 stitches, then you're going to make your decrease stitch, or a single crochet 2 stitches together. So you're going to take your crochet hook, go into the next stitch over and bring up a loop. Then you're going to go into the next stitch over and bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook. Go ahead and yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through all 3 loops on the hook for a decrease stitch. And you're going to repeat this pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. One single crochet into 5 stitches, and then single crochet 2 stitches together. Then you can go ahead and stuff the head with craft stuffing, and we're going to stuff it as we close. So now you're going to take and move the yarn marker up, and this time you're going to make one single crochet into 4 stitches, and then you're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. So make sure that your head is still shaped the way that you want it. Don't overstuff it. Then you're going to take and move the yarn marker up, and this time you're going to make one single crochet into 3 stitches, and then single crochet 2 stitches together, and repeat that pattern all the way around. Then make one single crochet into 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 stitches together, repeating that pattern all the way around. So you can see it's starting to get smaller and smaller. Now for our next decrease round, go ahead and make one single crochet into 1 stitch, and then single crochet 2 stitches together, repeating that pattern all the way around. And you can stuff your head more as you need it. Just make sure that you don't overstuff it and then warp the head or misshapen the head. Then what you're going to do is just single crochet 2 stitches together until you're almost closed. And then when you're almost closed, I'm going to make one more. You can slip stitch the rest closed. And how you do that is you just skip a stitch, go into the next stitch over, yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook. And then you just keep slip stitching the rest of it until the head is completely closed. Then once the head is closed, I'm going to make one more. Then you can take and finish off. So just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. So now just take your yarn marker, not your yarn marker, your tapestry needle, place it on the loose yarn end, and then you're just going to go right in where you finished off and then come out anywhere. And then that buries the loose yarn end nicely. Then you just take and trim the loose yarn end, and then the head is finished for now. So now I'm going to show you how to make the ears. We're going to start with the magic circle. So just take your yarn, drape it across your 4 fingers, use your thumb to stabilize, wrap the yarn around your 2 middle fingers, and then hold it in place with your pinky and your thumb. Then you're going to take your crochet hook, go under those 2 loops around the middle finger, bring up a loop, yarn over, turn the hook upside down and go through the loop for your slip knot. Then you're going to place 6 single crochet into the magic circle. Then take your forefinger and thumb, hold the base of the 6 single crochet, and then just close it just like you did before. And then you're just going to turn your work, and we're going to work in rounds. Now you're just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch around, and you should still have 6 single crochet in the round. This is my second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6th. Now you're going to take and you're going to be turning your work inside out, and then pull on that loose yarn end to close the center of the magic circle if you need to. And then you're going to use your yarn marker. Go ahead and place it right where you left off. And then you're going to place 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch, and then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. So 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochet into the second stitch, and then you're just going to be repeating that 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet, and then that should bring you right back to the yarn marker. And you can see how you're starting to create a point for the ear. Then just take and move the yarn marker up, and then you're going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So this is the first one. So 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I finished 9 stitches in that round. Then go ahead and move your yarn marker up for another increase round. So we're going to increase the number of stitches in the round. This time you're going to make 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch, and then just repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. 1 single crochet into 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochet into the third stitch, then repeat. So now you should have 12 stitches in the round. Then go ahead and take and move your yarn marker up for our last round. For this round, you're just going to make 1 single crochet into each stitch around. Then you can take and remove the yarn marker. You're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch over. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you're going to go ahead and finish off. Just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to sew the ear on the head. So now you want to sew the ears in place. I sewed my ears 5 rows back from the eye, and then also the medial part of the eye, I lined up the ear with the medial portion. So you just take your tapestry needle and put it onto the long end that you left for sewing. You want to line up your ears, make sure that they're both lined up. And then once you have them lined up and the way that you want them, then you can take and sew the ear in place. Then after you sew the ear in place, I usually tie the knot in the back of the ear where you can't see it. I usually go twice. Then you just go right where you tied your knot with your tapestry needle and then come out anywhere on the back. And then you can trim the loose yarn end after you buried it. This is how mine looks after sewing the ears on. So now we're going to make the unicorn horn. Now you're going to get whatever color that you want to use for the horn. I'm using my baby gray marl color. And you're going to start with the magic circle. So we're going to place first the slip knot, then the 6 single crochet. So 6 single crochet into the magic circle. Then you're going to close up the magic circle. Then you're just going to turn your work and then place 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So that would be 6 still. So here's my 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then you're going to place 2 single crochet into every stitch around. Go ahead and close the magic circle if you need to. So now, and you could turn it inside out as well as you crochet. Still won't go, so I'm going to wait till I crochet a little bit more. But then you're going to place 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12, and then come back. So 2 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 12 stitches in the round. Then you're going to just place your yarn marker right where you left off, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch around for 2 rounds. So 2 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So now this is where you can decide if this is the size that you want for your horn, and I'm happy with that size, so I'm going to keep my horn this size. If you want it a little bit larger, then you would increase, so that would be 1 single crochet into 1 stitch and then 2 single crochet into the 2nd stitch. But since I'm happy with my size, I'm just going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch around until I get the size that I want for my horn. So I finished 14 rounds for my horn, but I wanted to go ahead and measure it also in case you're using a different style of yarn and you don't want your horn to be too large. So mine measures about 9 centimeters. So 9 centimeters. Then you can go ahead and make a slip stitch into the next stitch over, yarn over, and then just pull the yarn through both loops on the hook. Then go ahead and finish off and bring enough yarn through to sew the horn onto the head. Go ahead and stuff it as well. You just want a little bit of stuffing in here. You don't want to overstuff it. So just a little bit of stuffing. Then you just want to center the horn onto the head, and my front of the horn is 2 rows in front of the ear. And then you just go all around the base of the horn and then just sew it in place. Make sure that it's not crooked. You want it right in the center, 2 rows in front of the ear. Then again, I just tied a knot on the back. And this time I just buried the yarn up into the horn. Now you're going to set the head aside. We're going to go back to the body and we're going to work on the horse's neck. So the body is facing, the right side is facing you. So we're going to take our crochet hook and we're going to join the same colored yarn right at the opening where the neck's going to go. Go ahead and chain 1 and then just tie a knot. Then go ahead and place a yarn marker right where you tied your knot, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So 1 single crochet in every stitch, and when you reach the first edge where you sewed the front to the side panel, come back. So now I've reached my first corner, so I'm going to make a single crochet, 2 stitches together for the corner, and you're going to do that for each corner that you come up to, and then just 1 single crochet into the rest. So now I'm back to where I started. I made my last single crochet, 2 stitches together. I'm going to move my yarn marker up to where I left off, and now you're just going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So just 1 single crochet in every stitch around. And when you come back, I'll give you an approximation of the number of stitches I have, but you don't have to match mine. You may be off 1 or 2. So I had approximately 53 stitches in my round, and I finished 3 rounds of 1 single crochet into every stitch. Then you're going to take and move your yarn marker up for a decrease round. So for this decrease round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 6 stitches. So 1 single crochet into 6 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. And then repeat. So 1 single crochet into 6 stitches and then single crochet 2 stitches together. So I have about 47 stitches in the round after that decrease round. And now just move your yarn marker up and make 1 single crochet into every stitch around for a total of 3 rounds. So 1 single crochet in every stitch for 3 rounds. Then just take and move your yarn marker up for the next decrease round. For the next decrease round, you're going to make 1 single crochet into 5 stitches. and then make your decrease stitch or single crochet 2 stitches together. And then you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker. Now on the last decrease round I had a few stitches left over and I just placed 1 single crochet into every stitch around. This time I ended with exactly 5 single crochet, so I'm going to go ahead and just make a decrease stitch just past my yarn marker. I ended with 40 stitches in the round. Go ahead and take and move your yarn marker up and make 1 single crochet into every stitch around for 3 rounds. So this is what my work is looking like so far. Now after you finish your 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in every stitch, you're going to make a decrease round again. And for this decrease round you're going to make 1 single crochet into 4 stitches and then single crochet 2 stitches together. Then repeat that pattern all the way around back to the yarn marker.